Hello, good evening. Welcome to Peichin Stable. It's day two. Well, actually, I would like to think it's day one, simply because yesterday was the pilot. You know, when they do the TV series and they do a pilot, which is when they do the first time, they check if it's gonna work. And yesterday was like getting the technology sorted. Not easy, actually, not easy. So day two, count it as a day one. So hopefully today is the day one is a good one. Fingers crossed. I have the whole family crossing fingers. Boys, I think it's working. So stop crossing the fingers. Fine. Now they are back to the iPads. You know how they did with the lockdown. And guess who I have next to me? Haha, Peichin.
Channel name
Well,
after
my
me.
heart and soul, the one who makes this happen.
Well, not really, but I'll try.
well,
I'll try to pretend that.
Yeah, well. So we said, let's start again. So imagine it's the first day. Yesterday I edited a bit, so it's available on YouTube if you want to catch up. But today should be the first day. So I said, make it as a Thursday. You know, when you have a cruise line or when they have launch a ship and then just get a bottle of champagne or sparkling and they smash it on the ship. They say, well, why don't we get some sparkling?
The difference is we're not going to smash the window.
Well, true, yes, that's
Can't
right.
afford it, man. So
Tell
turn
me-
it down.
Yeah,
We're
tell
going
me
to open
about-
it with a proper manner.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. With the whole technology bit, it's like I don't know how it's gonna be. But anyway, here we have lovely sparkling, and guess where it is from? Barcelona. So this one's it's a sparkling from Barcelona, from my hometown. So very close to my heart, which is very good. It's called Chic. I will give you a close up later. That should be quite good to start, isn't it?
Yes.
Like a glass.
Yes, please.
Like
Also,
a bottle, yeah, well,
you got to pretend I share. I don't always share.
yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. Wow, look at that. That's called Point of Fairy. Believe it or not. There you go. So that's your glass. It's for me. It's not intended that my glass is slightly bigger. I can tell you, it's not intended. It's just random.
Everything's about strategy.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Don't worry, you get a big glass, I'll get a whole bottle. So I'll always
Yeah, all
win.
right. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Well,
Cheers, guys.
all right. I'm hoping you can hear and thumbs up to it.
Well,
So, tell me.
if I may, thank you for watching us. I'm Peichin, by the way. It's a channel named after me, very grand. It's a channel that is very spontaneous. We're going to be talking about food we enjoy making, food that we enjoy eating, and food we'll be exploring. Same as wine. It will be wine that John has grown up with, but also the wine that is a new move, is a new maker, is a new way of making innovatively. So it's a channel about food and drinks, basically. Just give a little introduction that I was born and grew up in Taiwan. I spent the first 20 years of my life in Taiwan, and I spent the next 20 years in London. I think I just gave away my age. But anyway, so just to say, my heritage is from Taiwan, and I grew up in a Taiwanese seafood restaurant. Food is a big thing for us. I was working in my dad's kitchen. I was working alongside him, not aware of what I was going to become later. But somehow this was important to form who I am and makes me. And then the 20 years that I spent in London also opened my eyes to world cuisine, where I can try some different food. Not that I would say that I tried everything, because I don't have that enough in my pocket. But what I would say is I've met so many food interests like me who loves food, who love exploring food, and I've learned a lot from meeting them. I have made a lot more food here because we have a little family here. So this channel is very spontaneous. Sometimes there might be just John, because he will be talking about wine and drinks related, probably cocktails and some new spirits. It will be sometimes me sharing recipes that I have made in the past, or recipes I grew up with, or it's a new recipe I've never done before. We'll be doing together live. It will be a short recipe. It wouldn't be a slow cooking for 3 days kind of thing. So it will be, I'll be going through my cookbook collections and then pick up some show recipes that interest me and then probably that relevant to the seasons, and I will be making it together online. So tonight, I will retreat because I actually need to get on with preparation for the weekend coming. We are launching our summer club, so it's a lot of preparation to do. So I will pass this over to John, and you will be seeing both of us, a bit of him, a bit of me, sometimes both of us together, hopefully not fighting in front of the camera. We'll try. So cheers, guys, and I hope you enjoy it. I think John today is going to talk about bottles, the size of bottles. I will leave you to it.
All right.
And then y'all enjoy mine.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Enjoy, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. See you later.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah. Well, as Peichin said, this is live. Well, the ones that tuned in yesterday, you saw that. So anything can happen. All right. So it's not edited. It's going to be uploaded on YouTube later. Like live. That's it. So what do I have? So well, we have today we talk about so big bottles. The reason is because I think, and this goes back to my background as well. So I grew up in a third generation of wine people, so with wine merchant, and since I was very little, I was around the wine world. And once you are there, it's kind of like you get like a sponge, just getting more and more information. And you know what? There's so many things and so many unknowns that it's good to share with people. When I was the head of sourcing at Majestic Wine and Naked Wines, we had a lot of questions, so they came to me and said, "Oh, well, we have these questions, and can we share?" And I thought, yeah, that would be great. But back then, I didn't have the platform as I have today, so I thought, you know what? Let's make the most out of it. Why not? But why don't we share with people? And that's the intent of this channel. Look, in terms of what we can do today, I thought, well, when it comes to open a bottle, and I think this was a bit what happened yesterday. So just to give you an idea, yesterday I thought, okay, I'm just going to have a bottle of wine. Well, you must have a bottle of wine. Okay, I'm going to have a bottle of wine. So if I'm allowed a bottle of wine, well, what would I choose? You know, it's like regular or large. You go to a coffee shop and say, what do you want, regular or large? In the case of coffee, sometimes you could have more milk into it, so if you want something a bit more strong, you go for a flat white or regular latte, or if you want something with a bit more creaminess, you go for a large latte. So you have a reason for it. In the case of wine, well, apart from the previous reason for getting a bit more into the mood, actually, why do you have two sizes of bottles? And I thought, actually, why don't we make that one of the elements of the channel? So that gave me a very good excuse yesterday to open a big bottle of wine and just relax and chill out. And as I had some bottles, I thought, let's get it done. So back to the topic about how is the bottle. So size of bottles. In terms of bottle sizes, there's so many. Really, it's not like we have regular large or small, medium, large. Actually, through the decades of history, people have made some very small bottles to something humongous and big. And back in the 80s, they had a bit of a race of who could make the biggest bottle. I mean, sometimes you cannot even lift it. You can imagine the bottle is going to be like 18 liters inside, like 90 kilos, plus the weight of the glass, right? And so we have made one big one. Okay, great. We have made this big bottle. Who's going to pour it? Oh, it's true, yes, how are we going to pour it? So not that great, not so intelligent. It's good to have a bottle size that you can use and you can pour. So the ones we have today that I'm talking about is the regular one, which is 75 cl. It's the standard one you have all the time. And this one, which is a double size. This double size is 1.5 liter, and as a kind of specific as it can be, these people decide names for the sizes. So sometimes they're very confusing because you would say, well, actually, you can have a regular, you can have a large, a party size. Recognize this one is they call it Magnum. Actually, I don't know much. They call it Magnum. Obviously, Magnum in Latin is like big, but when I heard about Magnum, I thought, well, it's because it's like a Magnum PI from the 80s, like a really cool size. But this one is a double the size, regular size. Just to keep it. So what's the difference between these two? So actually, when it comes to the two bottles that we have here, the difference is probably less than you might think. So when you see a bottle like this, and you think, okay, well, imagine you get this as a present. Peichin is watching, behind the screen. That's crazy. So you get the present like this, like, wow, great. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna open it. Well, good news is that when it comes to these bottles, if this is a standard type of cork, you put in a single bottle, so it's here. This one is exactly the same. So actually, it's exactly the same in terms of diameter. If you have a big bottle, you use the same corkscrew that you have. No need to get new equipment. And I'm not having here the line now of bigger bottles. But as you go big, actually the cork remains fairly similar. When I have an experience to share with you guys in terms of what happens with big bottles. So in the case of still wine like this, the cork is kind of straight, so you can pull it up. When it comes to sparkling wine, and I have here a good example, you can see it's a bit more kind of open up. I'm going to show you here better. You can see it's a bit more open up at the bottom. So the bigger the bottle you have, actually this expands more. So we had, when I was wine director at the Notre one of the biggest wine companies here in the UK, we had the sales director who retired. And after 30 years, they had kind of celebration all together. And so we have a bottle of champagne to open. Great. And they brought this kind of like 10-liter bottle of champagne, like massive. And the bottle was this big. And the cork was like similar to that. And I can tell you, it was hilarious. Because what happened is that they had to open the cork, but it was like a contest. They were like, okay, oh yeah, let me open it. I cannot open it. Oh no, let me try. And it was like, at the end, we had to just wrestle with the corkscrew, try to remove, and try to get it out. So, a bit of effort, right? So, no pain, no gain. Well, there you go. So, you're paying sweat when you are going to be drinking later. So, that was one very big bottle, which is very uncommon. Playing this size, the one I mentioned, which is the Magnum double size, you have a bit more. So, apart from the appearance, which is there any other advantage? So I think we can cover that. One main advantage, you can have a party, it's half the effort to open, obviously, compared to this. But in terms of if you want to keep the wine to age, probably we're going to cover that, it's not a problem. But if you want to keep the wine for longer, this wine keeps better. And the reason is because there's less surface to cover around the wine there. So this one, to keep the wine for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, works better, but only if you want to keep it down. In reality, I think, as you can imagine, things arrive, get open, and get age. But in case of you want to keep it down, double side will be. And I think probably that ends the advantage of the container. The rest, if you look at what's available in the market, and there's a bit of availability, not very common, these ones tend to be a bit more expensive. And why is that? I mean, the wine inside costs the same. It goes from planting the winery, fill out this one, or fill out cost of wine the same. What's more expensive in this case is, first of all, the glass. So this glass, as you cannot weight, actually weights more than double. So it needs to be stronger. And in the case of sparkling wine, I can tell you, it just can be very, very heavy, very expensive. So if a bottle like this, in terms of glass, you can get it for 10, so around that. actually even it's not 40 pence, maybe 6 to 7 to 1, because then you're making so many, it's a small runs, it has a bit more glass. And when it comes to the bowling line, guess what? The bowling lines have like 4 pins. For that something is a bit more manual feeling. In terms of closure, you might have walks, etc. So when you add up everything, these ones tend to be a bit more expensive, which makes them not so popular. Because you won't have one. Is that double? No, it's a bit more than double. Oh, is that 2 bottles? Because we more than double. No. So that's a bit the story about what happens with the popularity. Now, I can tell you that if you can have, if you have this one, definitely sometimes taste fresher. When I say fresher, means like what? There's a bit more vibrancy in it than you have in standard bottle. But this is very fine tuned. Okay, I don't expect fireworks out of this. It doesn't come out. It doesn't come out. It's all about. It's a bit more spritz maybe, especially the white ones, and then the red ones. It needs a bit more time to open. But otherwise, regular bottle is great. And as I said before, if most of wine is in this size, it's because it's good enough for what you want to do. And when you come to look at the bottles itself, this is the most popular, also in terms of boxes. You have a box with 6 bottles of this. You have a box with 6 of that. I can tell you this is a backbreaker. I mean, you couldn't want to have a box with it, which makes it more difficult. And in some cases, this one's coming in a wooden box. So you're like, okay, great marketing team. You create more money, which looks stunning. It costs more money. It's very heavy. How is it going to work? That makes it a bit less popular. But you should not be the traffic from getting manuals if you want. You have a party, party season, summer's around the corner, great bottles of wine. All the wines is this. In terms of the sparkling, it's a bit different. We'll cover in another time, so it's not going to be today simply because it's a bit more complex. But that's what I have for you. And remember, we are live every day at 7. You might have Peichin, you might have me. Hopefully, we're going to be working. And look, if there's any problem, remember this is live from Heinz Park, and it's very important that you keep. And if you want to look for us on the YouTube, you can. You're gonna find us there. So Peichin stable. And if you have questions as well. So in terms of questions, I check and I believe it's possible to have some questions online because it's our official. I didn't want to have also a chat and then having to control. It's working and then this questions. So look, if you have any questions, what I can suggest is you can go to Peichin Stable on Instagram, message, or on YouTube. Once this is uploaded, leave a question there, and I will answer there. And also, I will do a program about questions and answers. So if it's not relevant to the program today, but you have a query about wine, that you want, or spirits, or cocktails, or beer, actually, I want to wonder who put out Peichin Stable. Send it, and then I will make it as a question. So, look, I think it has worked better than yesterday. So, look, I can have wine a bit more relaxed tonight. And we will tune in again tomorrow. And, well, have a good evening, stay safe, and cheers.